he'd obviously told his mum a lot about me, and she was in a hospice at that stage, and so by the time I met her, she was really, you know, well advanced in the disease. And I remember meeting her, and at this stage I hadn't told Phil that I loved him or anything yet, because it was still very early on.
Yeah.
You know, we'd only just got it together. And I went to meet his mum for the first time. And because she knew everything that he'd told her about me,
Right.
she obviously knew this is the woman that Phil wants to marry and start a family with. But he hadn't told me that, and I hadn't told him that. And so we had this really amazing moment with his mum, who obviously since passed away. And she was the greatest woman, but she was asking me all these questions about what kind of woman are you and how will you raise your family? And it just makes me so emotional to think about. Because as a mum, I think, God, I'd hate that to not be there.
Yeah.
And I look now and I think, God, and it was so emotional at the time, like it was the worst. Sorry, no,
that's all right.
So I'm such a crier.
No,
I'm an airport on everything.
I do the sympathy cry. As soon as I say something, mine just go too.
And it was amazing because we had this whole conversation about, you know, how will you raise your kids and what's your family like? Because I think she wanted to know, like, what kind of family is my husband going into and what kind of family will he have?
Yeah.
And that was a really important part of, I guess, closure for her, and knowing that she was passing away, knowing that he was going to be okay.
Okay, yeah.
And so that was just such a big moment. But I feel like now everything I said to her that day, we kind of had done. Like I said, you know, the kind of wedding that I wanted, and that I wanted 3 kids, and we've done that. So, you know, I feel like we've kind of lived true to you know, how she thought his life would go so far.
Because he was very close to her as well, wasn't he?
Yeah. That's a massive thing to go through.
Oh, and that's just so awful because her mind was there, you know.
It's
but
a
her
terrible
body,
disease.
Oh, mate, it's just... But how in that moment, that would have just given her so much.
Yeah,
meeting
completely.
you.
And I remember her asking me if I loved her son. And he was standing there. I hadn't said that to Phil yet.
Wow.
And I was like, yes, yeah, I do. I want to marry your son. And so it was also that weird thing, like, he's standing behind me and I haven't told him that yet, but now you know.
And then, so how did the conversation pick up with you guys after he heard you say that?
Well, I think it really bonded us. Like it brought us really close together, and it was an important thing to do. And my parents came down and spent as much time as they could with her before she passed away. And, you know, that was an important thing for her, obviously, and for my family as well, and for Phil, and, you know, so I think it really cemented our relationship and our love and our families coming together. And,
wow.
but a full-on time.
Heavy, really heavy, yeah.